home. We're gonna try something a little different today. I'm gonna show you a little bit of a haul, but at the same time, or the same video, I've never done this before to do a project. I bought two ceramic bird figurines, I believe at American Thrift here a few weeks ago, and I've been wanting to paint them and antique them. So I've done one and I kind of like it. I'm gonna probably try another technique on the other one. So we're gonna hopefully get around to that by the end of this video. And I say hopefully because it is windy outside. We are having our first false fall. The temperatures have dipped in the morning. I believe it was less than 70 this morning. I'm not quite sure. I walked outside to let the chickens out, and it was nice weather. It was cool. The wind was it was breeze blowing, and it's supposed to be in the high 80s, which for some people is hot. For us, it's a cool snap. But we're only going to have it for a few days, and then by next week we'll be back up into the 90s during the week. So we're hoping that summer's last hurrah, hopefully. Not that it's going to be cool anytime soon. August sometimes for us is just as hot as July. So our first false fall. Anyway, we're going to try spray painting and antiquing. But we'll get this haul first. I have a little bit from a thrift store and then a little bit from a local estate sale. Now, whenever I sell on eBay, if somebody buys something from me, I try to send a little thank you card. Halloween, Christmas, I usually send a pencil, you know, a seasonal pencil or whatever. Just a little gift. And so these were at the thrift store for obviously Halloween. You see it's for $1. They are Hallmark. And they were originally, if you can see right here, they were $4.97. So that will be going into my little pile that I keep in there with my packaging stuff. So that'll be for eBay sales. Turkey, and I don't think I've ever seen a turkey on a sled. Now I don't know, is there part of a sticker here? I don't know, by no means this is old. I don't know if it was like a Home Goods or Marshalls or TJ Maxx or whatever. But there's Mr. Turkey. He's completely white or cream colored, whatever you like to look at, whatever you like to say. $3 for him. I liked him, so we'll see where he'll go. I don't like to buy a lot of fall stuff. I don't decorate for Halloween. And I don't like to buy a lot of fall stuff before I bring out my fall stuff because I don't know what I've got. I've forgotten since last year. We were in Hobby Lobby today, Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and I had to stop myself. They have a lot of nice stuff. This has been here or been at that thrift store for the last few trips. I look at it and I always put it back. My husband was with me this time and he says, why don't you just go ahead and get it? I think this is everything that sums up an 80s country kitchen. It's a valance and you can see the pattern. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I just, for some reason it spoke to me. A lot of people think that's plain, but I just liked it. It is, I think that's Kellwood. Kellwood Home Fashions. Now, you can, if you'll see here, there is a small, for if you like have the small rails, the small rods, or like me, I'm gonna have to use the big rod, which is right here. Now, they are open, and I remember having curtains back when I was growing up that you could stuff paper or tissue or something in, like right in here, and they would puff out. I don't know that this is what that is, but it just brought me back to that time. I had a baby blue paint on my bedroom walls. It was there when I got the room. It wasn't my choice, but I like blue, so, you know, I never wanted to paint it. So I had curtains in that color. But that's gonna go right here in the dining room, probably for a few weeks until I do get my fall stuff out. Now, we went to an estate sale the same weekend, 2 minutes probably down the road. I knew the family. Walked in the door and the guy conducting it says, hey Gail, how are you? And I'm, oh, great, how are you, Bob? It was his parents' house. His dad's been dead for a few years. His mom, maybe last year passed. I'm not quite sure when she went. But it's been a minute. The house has been shut up. So now they're doing an estate sale to get rid of it. Now, when you walked in the front door, you were in the living room. It was a living room open concept into the kitchen. They had like an enclosed game room that used to be a garage off to the left, and then 2 bedrooms in the back. And that was all. There wasn't much to be had in the bedrooms. What I got, mostly kitchen stuff. really. This is the first thing I picked up, and I have seen these before, and I think it's a neat concept, a neat idea. My mother used to have one hanging in the corner of her kitchen. She had a screw down from the ceiling and this hooked onto it. We don't have anywhere that I could put this in my kitchen, and I'm not wanting to use it for what it really is intended for, which is like a vegetable fruit holder. In my guest room, the closet holds all my junk, for lack of a better term. All this, whenever fall does come out and the everyday stuff has to go up, I keep totes in that closet, and all this will go up in that closet. It's slam packed full of all my crap. So I was thinking the linen closet here next to the bathroom also has a lot of whatnots in it and little bitty figurines or whatever. So I thought this would be neat. I can't use it in the kitchen for vegetables and fruit, but I could probably hook it up on the clothes rack in that bedroom closet and put whatnots in this. So, of course, it's the 3-basket thing. It does look like it's copper, or supposed to look like copper, I'm not quite sure. And of course it collapses on itself. And it's really sturdy hook and chain. Sorry, I don't mean to move you. I believe this was $2. Yeah. So that is what I plan on doing with that. This picture was probably the last thing I picked up. And it was filthy. It was dirty. Like I said, the house had been shut up for a while. I think it was $3, $4, $5, something. I'm not sure. I knew exactly when I picked it up where it was going to go. I love the colors. I mean, it's a nice picture, but I love the colors in it. Our bathroom is painted in a green color. I believe it's called milkweed from this is the Bear collection at Home Depot. Now, this is not anything fancy. It's probably a Home Co. picture. At one point, it's plastic. And you can see the back screws in. Now, when we brought it, when I was paying for it, I didn't notice it until we were paying for it, and my husband pointed it out. Right in here, there was like a dead bug. That it looks like it'd been squished between the glass and the picture. So we brought it home, and I unscrewed the back. And all this is this picture is on the other side of this back. So when you take this off, all that's in there is this and the glass. So this is painted on the backing. So I got the dead bug out and cleaned it as best I could. And it hangs in that bathroom with that green color. So I think it's really pretty in there. This is just to use here. It's another what I call housekeeping thing. I believe it's Revere wear. I can't really tell. It is USA. I don't know if you can see it in there. The little man with the hat. But it is a nice, I was impressed with how clean it was on the inside. Sometimes you find these bowls and they are scorched or discolored, but it was really nice and clean. So that's just to use around here. I'm always looking for a good pot, stainless steel pot for, just cooking around here. This I picked up. They had a few brass objects. I have enough brass candle holders. I guess when you get to owning so many, if you ever want to buy another one, it kind of has to be special. I don't plan on keeping this. I do want to sell this on eBay. I just thought it was different. I've never seen one painted. So it does have a little sticker, and I can make out the word solid brass on there. But yeah, and there was only one. It does have the little finger hole on it, but I'll let you look at that pattern is what's different. So I hope someone out there kind of likes that. Now this, the basket in this, I think was the first two things I picked up. I believe this was $2. It's a cutting board, of course. They had another one that was oval, but it had a big crack in the middle. Not going to use it as a cutting board. It'll be used as a riser or something to hold it on. It does have a little staining on it. And I'm a firm believer you can't buy patina like that. People try to fake it all the time, but there it is. But what I really like about it is it has feet. So you can put it on something, a little rubber feet's not going to scratch anything. So it'll be a riser. We'll be able to set something on it and it'll jack something up or something like that. So I have been looking for, I'm not setting out to look for it. Every now and again I come across some, and then I kind of shy away from them because of the price, because I am cheap. But the rattan or straw or wicker placemats. This was a set of 6, and exactly what I need is 6 at this table. And I thought I'll try to incorporate them around the fall, but they are straw mats. You can see that. And there are 6 in perfectly good condition. So I think these were $2, something like that. And the last thing, my husband picked this out. He wanted it. It was, I think it was priced at $10. Not a lot of resale value when you're paying $10 for it. I don't think it's a really sought after pattern that much. It is Pyrex. It's a 043 casserole, 1.5 quart. And I believe this is what they call early American. So it does have its lid. It does have a few scratches on the lid, but other than that, it's in good condition. So this will probably be used for fall. Just around here, and then we'll put it up. I think I have another casserole dish. This maybe have a mustard yellow with like the garland, the gold garland on it. I started out in this whole thing selling on eBay and getting into old stuff. I kind of started out with Pyrex, but I don't really collect it anymore. I have a whole set of mixing bowls, the Verde Green mixing bowls. I got the biggest one from my grandmother-in-law, and the rest of them I bought over time. I've got another pattern. I've got a couple of the primary set pieces, and I keep waiting. Nanny's got, I think she's got a primary refrigerator dish set, and the story that goes behind it. But she's still got that. She's still using it, I think. Anyway, I don't collect Pyrex that much anymore. If I were gonna buy it, I would want it to be a lot better than $10 to try to sell it. Especially this. I mean, this is not that sought after of a pattern. In a minute, we're gonna go outside. Like I said, we're gonna try to spray paint that that bird and see if we can finish that up. And I'll show you the rooster that I've been working on. And yeah, we'll do a project together. So that's first for me. So let's hope it goes okay. So this is the project that I'm going to be working on. I bought these at American Thrift here a couple of weeks ago. I think they were $2.99 or $3.99. Donna over at Delightfully Southern, if you ever watch her, she did here recently some pheasants. And I was kind of jealous because I was thinking about gold pheasants or brass pheasants. If you've ever been to Bellingrath Gardens in Mobile, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot. One of the key parts is the Bellingrath house, Bessie and Walter Bellingrath's house. It is still there, still preserved. They give guided tours. And I thought I remembered some brass or gold pheasants from the house. And that's one of the places I love to go. I think every time we go, we've been through that house maybe 2 or 3 times now. And I think every time we go, I find a different thing to take a picture of. I thought they were brass pheasants, but looking back in some of my pictures, they were silver pheasants, not brass. So we don't have pheasants, but we do have a southern staple. I believe these are quail. Quail or dove. I don't know. I think they're quail. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. They are, you know, hobby pieces. You can see the bottom of them. But this is how they both came to me. Well, they were painted. Each of them was painted a little bit different. The other one had a little more white on the head. But this is how they looked in the store. I didn't like the paint. And I was like, I want to make them look brassy. So the first one is like this. I spray painted it with this. It's Rust-Oleum. I want to say it's called hammered brass or antique brass. I'm not quite sure. For the life of me, I cannot find a name on it anywhere. But it is Rust-Oleum, and that's the way it's supposed to look. When you're spraying it on the bird, or when you're spraying on whatever you're spraying on, it kind of looks shiny, like it has glitter in it or something. But it dries, I guess, not so glittery. But I wanted to antique it, and I used this. Now this is kind of expensive. I think it was, when I bought this at Home Depot, it was like 15 bucks, 14, 15 bucks for the, what is this, Bear. There's a Bear brand. Sorry about the glare from the thing, but it's getting that time of day. But it is antique wax. Let me show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like in there. That's what I used. Now I haven't sealed this bird yet. Speaking of sealing, let me seal that. I haven't sealed it yet with a spray sealant, any kind of varnish. I don't think I'm going to use that on this one. I think I'm going to spray paint it, and I have that Waverly wax that you can get at Walmart, the little paint stuff. I think it may do better than that wax. We will see, because that's the next project. That's the project I want you to work with me on. So go ahead and apologize for any wind sound, or we living out here in the country, so there's the next door neighbor's cutting his grass, which I need to finish cutting mine whenever Jason gets back with our gas. You'll hear a lot of stuff go by. We get a lot of traffic on this road, but this is where we're going to be doing it at. It's on my back porch here. As you see, I got this little piece of cardboard here, and we'll try to see if I can get you to see how this goes on. I think I'm downwind. You can see it's kind of shiny. It's almost like a glittery look to it. Ooh, you can really see it. Well, if I get out of your light, you can probably see it. Like I said, we are doing our first false fall. First, we will actually keep the wave that we normally are in, and eventually we'll have another cool snap, and now we'll wave, we'll have another wave, and eventually we'll get to some fall weather, and then we'll get winter. Well, we can look at that, it's still shiny. But we're not going for the shiny. Trying to get all of it in there, making sure we don't leave any spots, because I don't want to come back here and look at it all. Now, I don't know, I should leave this out here. This wind might drive really quickly. That's another thing with being south. The humidity, sometimes paint has a hard time with that humidity. So, and there's our pears. We're going to do us some pear pie filling, and hopefully try some pear honey. That's a new recipe that I want to try. So whenever that dries, we'll come back and try to antique it, and I'll try to show you. Good morning. We're going to finish up this project where we spray painted our dove, quail, whatever that was, yesterday. I let it dry outside. So we're ready to antique it today. Now, I showed you the other one that I did, and this was I used the bear wax. Now, this stuff, again, is about $14, $15 a can at the home improvement store. That is the way it looks. I'm not unhappy with it, but I wish it were a little bit more antiqued. So we're gonna try a different medium, not a technique, but a medium. We're gonna use this Waverly that you can get from Walmart. And this is the antique wax. This is like $2 a little jar versus that $15 can. It is more liquidy, and I'm hoping it's gonna stick in nooks and crannies and stay a little bit more when I'm wiping it off. So what you're gonna need, besides your wax, I'm gonna use this brush because I think it'll fit down in there, and plenty of paper towels, and don't mind getting your hands dirty. I've got cardboard on the table. I've got my apron on. But before we get started on that, there was one thing I left out. It got stuffed up under something yesterday when I did my haul video for that last estate sale, so I thought I'd tack it in because I think it's really neat. This was in the laundry room of that house where I got the picture with the rabbits in it. There were cookbooks out there. It was $2 for this book. So they had commercially printed cookbooks there, and which I buy those from time to time if I think they're interesting enough. But this one is really, really special, and the fact that most of these are handwritten, as you can see. I just think that's so neat. Old-fashioned buttermilk pie. Now, she does have a lot of newspaper cutouts. I buy these books hoping to find a caramel cake recipe, a really good caramel cake recipe. I mean, I've had one given to me. It's okay, but there's a lady at work that makes a really good one, but she won't give up the recipe. So I keep trying to find a good one in one of these books. I haven't found a caramel cake recipe in here yet. Sweet potato pie, pecan pie, chocolate pie, French coconut pie, broccoli rice casserole, Lane cake. If you know what a lane cake is, we have those around here sometimes. Baked squash casserole. It's just rave coconut cake. But this is just, I mean, this is something that you do over years of cooking and, you know, acquiring all these recipes. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how some of them are going to turn out. But yeah, $2 for this little binder full of handwritten recipes. I thought it was a pretty good deal. Now, with this, I'm going to try, I can't put the tripod that the camera's on the cardboard because it keeps getting turned around. So this is, we're going to try to see if this is going to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to see if we can get ourselves some wax. And again, I may let it sit on there for just a second instead of just immediately wiping it off. Let's see here. I just don't want to get it on my tablecloth. And this is kind of like a smooth. I guess I could rough up the paint a little bit, maybe. We'll go ahead and just let this sit for just a second. Just keep on painting. And your hands will probably, you know, get dirty. But this does wash off. I usually take some hot or some warm water and soap, hand soap, and this brush is falling apart, and wash out my brushes when I get finished. So, I mean, it will come off your hands. It's not gonna dye your hands anything, any kind of color. So I may not have any more success with this than I did the other one, to tell you the truth, but we're gonna see if it will stick a little better. I don't know if you maybe could take some paint, maybe brown paint, and thin it out with a little bit of water and rub it on and rub it off. That might be a technique. If this doesn't work, we might have to try that. So, yeah. It's a shame with antiquing stuff. I mean, you just, you're painting it on and then you're wiping it off. You're gonna lose a lot of it to the paper towel once you do it. So I want it to look natural. I don't want big goops in places. So yeah, this looks a little better. Doesn't look a whole lot different than this one. But I do want to dye down that really brassy, shiny look with that wax. So I'm gonna keep on going. Brush and me, but that's, like I said, it's fine. It'll wash off. Or the lady that I used to work with, Debbie, used to say, it'll wash. It'll wash. She used to say you need to wash your hands. She also used to say stuff like refrigerator and brawl, soggy. Oh, miss her though. She was a character, and I think, you know, the older you get, the more you appreciate working with people who have their quirks and their characters and can joke and take a joke. So. This is a mess. This is messy. So we're gonna let it sit for just a second. I'm gonna wash out this brush, and we'll come back and see if it sits a little bit better. So let's finish this up. We'll go ahead and start taking off the wax. I walked out, checked on the chickens, cleaned out my brush, just left it sitting for a little minute. So we will try to wipe this off, which is not sticking that much, so it's pretty good. And of course, you use a lot of paper towels when you're doing this. don't want to put too much in one spot. I want it to look like it's naturally aged, not fake. So let's see what we can get off here, and we'll take a look at it if we like it. We're gonna let it dry. I haven't sealed the other one yet, so if I get a chance today, the wind's still blowing because it still feels good outside. It is nice out there right now. So, but the wind is blowing, so it's gonna be a minute before I can get out there and seal these properly and make sure this antique wax doesn't come off on my doilies or any of my linens or furniture or God knows what else. And this is good just for fall decorations. I mean, you can decorate with it all year, but I like this for fall. So you can see that it's still in some of the nooks and crannies. I don't think it looks much different than the one that I did the wax with, the other wax, the expensive wax with. But yeah, they're gonna be a little more shiny just because I have to seal them. Put that spray paint on, or spray paint lacquer on them. And again, you can do the cheap way. One is cheap, like $2 for the antique wax, and at Waverly, this is a Waverly brand from Walmart. Or you can do the expensive way, which is the Bear wax that I got at Home Depot for 14, 15 bucks. This is, of course, a little more thicker, and it works good for some projects. I just don't think it was probably the best for this one. So we're gonna let these dry, or let this one dry. This one's already dry. It's been done for a couple of days, and then we'll seal it, and we'll try to show you where we're gonna put it.